Chief Rabbi, you are online.
Thank you very much, Chief Rabbi Pinchas. Tzadikim, Tzadakot, there we have got Tzadik Kalomo, there we have got Tzadik Zuko, and my master there at the background.
Shalom.
Welcome to our limud, our weekly limud. Our viewers at the different platform. Welcome to our limud. I believe that we are all well. We will not be long because of different factors. Yeah, different factors. But this is still Torah. I wanted to, or I thought of us starting with our remote with a platform where I invite those on the platform now, a Zoom platform. From what you have heard, either from other rabbis of the Chief Rabbinate of Africa, I'm too sure that we have been following a number of limudim from our rabbis, and also from this program, areas program. At times, sometimes we are reserved not to ask questions in the middle of or at the end of the limud. I thought us having to have a few minutes, if we have got any question from what you have heard before, or you have learned before, not just heard, from what you have learned, or we have learned before. It's a question. They said, don't shoot a soldier. Once you shoot a soldier, well, remember the general is behind. So no matter how much or the question might be, now also do not leave my master to go without if you have got one question or more questions. Yeah, is there also to help. Otherwise, I will ask questions. I will ask us questions. Any question, my
Nothing
dear
from
friends?
my side yet.
Okay, Baruch
Not
Hashem.
yet.
Not yet. That means that there are questions. Okay, not yet. Baruch Hashem Baruch. Okay, we go. Hanukkah. How do we understand Hanukkah? From the plain meaning of the word Hanukkah, or even from historical perspective. I do not want it to bother us, but with questions that sometimes it could be beyond our expectations, because it's only when we have got, we understand the moment, particularly from the Jewish life perspective, what a Jew is doing now, you will truly be able to understand and to follow other limudim, but in each and every occasions. Why are we celebrating Hanukkah today? Or why is there Hanukkah at all? If we don't have any light, or if we don't have any clue, That means it will be very difficult for us even to understand the societies in which we are in. Because the whole purpose of Hanukkah and why it happened, it must have happened because of something. And what is that something? So I wanted to devote a few minutes. As I said, it will not be long like as usual because of other commitment, Baruch Hashem. Yeah, we will not be able really to understand particularly the Bantu Israelites and the Africans in general. Okay.
I see
Thank
not
you
a
very
question,
much.
but an observation.
Yes.
Rabbeinu. The
Yes.
observation is we have Hanukkah because of a challenge. It's an answer to a challenge, and that challenge is a spiritual challenge. The Greeks wanted to destroy the Torah and our way of life and our relationship with Hashem. And the same methods that they used in biblical times are the same methods that were used during colonization and the forced conversions to Christianity. I see exactly the same things. And this is very interesting to me because now I'm going back to Judaism, but I'm also a scholar on the New Testament side. And when I look at the New Testament, it is exactly the message of the Greeks or the proposition of the Greeks that you need a civilization, you need to have a physical part. They didn't accept that Jews can relate to God on a spiritual side of things. They wanted to bring a physical, something that you can see and touch. So when I see what has happened to us in recent times, it looks like a repetition of what happened during the times of the Hasmoneans in a way.
Very good, Rabbeinu, a very good and a very profound observation. That should probably our start. What do we observe in the societies we live in our own lives? Because we are part of societies, regardless of which part of world you are in a society. Society that is simply to be ruled by different construct. Different construct that you and I hardly know your own identity. Why? Because, well, it was subsumed by others, other cultures, other constructs, the mindset, values, the value systems, and so forth. We are going to look at some of these things in a few minutes we have. Baruch Hashem. Look at this way. We do have got a world, or we live in a world that is being defined by certain cultures. And these cultures are responsible for our thinking process. They gave us names, they gave us their languages, they gave us a construct. And we take so pleasure into these things. They define everything. Look at, for example, the Greek culture. Does it not occur to our mind? Why said many, many, many words and many places that seem to control our mind are coming from one culture. From an education perspective, it's from one culture. Or different, yeah, from different cultures, or one culture comes to religion, is the same thing. Comes to form of government, the same thing. Comes from comes to all social orders from one culture. Now the question perhaps is, where is mine? Where is mine? Where is my culture? That means if I do not have something that of my own, then it looks and it appears that I do not exist. I only exist for somebody, but I truly don't exist. This is just like Tzaddik Zuko observed. The Greek came there. The Greek came into the world. And everything that they wanted to destroy is to try to destroy the Torah, which is a tradition. And guess what they have? Three things that they have targeted much more. Two or three. The first is not about only the Torah. It's about time, the calendar. The calendar, the Hebrew or the Jewish calendar. That's what they wanted to destroy. Why? Because if you do not have calendar, how do you observe Torah? Now, let's broaden up this idea. Let's go into the main, or in the continent of Africa. What is your calendar? Do you have one?
Traditionally, it's the changing seasons.
Thank you. Do we have one, regardless of what part of Africa you are? Do you have one? Do you have got your own calendar? It appears not. Whose calendar then do we follow? In everything that we have or we do is based on their calendar. So that is one of the aspects that they wanted to destroy. So that means once a people called Bnei Israel do no longer have a calendar, that means they cannot perform mitzvot. That's one, because mitzvot are season performed, are time-bound mitzvot. I cannot, for example, perform, for example, okay, Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh, like today, is Rosh Chodesh, the new moon. But if I don't have that, that means, well, the Torah is just hanging somewhere there. It's just a nice fantasy. It's just a nice, a nice narrative. Now, coming now to many communities in Africa, like one writer said, we are controlled by words. We are controlled by places. When you go into many African communities, once you say, no, I'm from Israel, and I'm from Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Without thinking it twice, you will see somebody, oh, hallelujah, oh. It's the name of the place that controls me. So that means it's no longer intellect, that I should go by intellect. And that's exactly what they wanted to destroy, and they wanted to create in our mind. Second is the Torah. So in other words, or the third one is the circumcision. Of course, without a calendar, we will not have a circumcision. Nothing simply exists. Let's go one step ahead. My master, I do not want to repeat what my master keep on teach, or he taught us before we came into public. He taught us before we came into public. My master last year, he carried on a limud that speaks about wisdom versus philosophy. What did the philosophy did? What did the philosophers do to us? They defined everything for you and for me. Everything. From what I have said earlier on, okay, from Kalama to everyone, Shalom, okay, okay, I thought it's a question. So, everything that is simply the society goes by and how you establish a society is based on the mind of philosophers. The Midrash Tankuma, I just forgot the page. Best what I share next time, because this is a very, very huge. This is a very huge subject. The Midrash Tankuma called them donkeys. So my master carried on a limud in August about wisdom versus philosophy. And he was teaching us based on what was passed to us, or passed to him before he passed it to us, by Ben Shchai, on a Pasha Emor, where Rabbi Ben Shchai quoted the Mishnah. The Mishnah that others in the Bnei Israel do always said, we do not make halacha according to the Mishnah. But the chief rabbinate of Africa, we do go by the Mishnah. Because one of the Tanaim, whose tradition we follow, Rabbi Nehunia Hakane, has taught us that the Mishnah is not a Jewish thing, the way others are claiming it to be. It was given to Adam Arishon. So it's the Mishnah we go by, because it's the Mishnah that speaks it to every human being. Ben Ishchai quoted the Mishnah that says, do not be or be the tail of the lions, but do not be the head of foxes. And who are these foxes? Philosophers. Philosophers that we look at, philosophers that we look onto for the meaning of things, either it's for the weather, always the interpretation of this and that, we look at the philosophers. But little we know that the philosophers are the very same one who destroy cultures, civilization, particularly the Bantu Israelites. They are the very same one who are responsible for every misery that we have.
Phone is not doing it. This phone is not doing anything.
My sincere apology, Tzadikim Tzadakot. It was a connection, also connection problem. I'm back, and welcome, Tzadeket Natalia. Okay, we go back to the theme of Hanukkah. We have dwelt much more on that topic. So the Torah tells us through our sages, Ben Ish Chai quoting the Mishnah, that you have to be the tails of lions, at the tail of lions, other than being at the tail, the head of foxes. The foxes implied there in the Mishnah, all of being hindered to is the philosophers. Everything seems to be defined by philosophers. Be it may be. Yeah, so we have got so many things. We have got so many languages. We have got not languages. Yeah, we have got things like, for example, democracy. My sincere apology. I do not want it to sound offensive to our respective leadership in different countries in the continent of Africa. In every constitution that you see, you find the people speaks about democracy. But yet this word is come from one culture, from one culture. And again, I do not want it to sound demeaning. So many things. I do not want it to sound demeaning other religions, for example, Christianity. What is the name of Christianity? Where does that one come from? It's a Greek concept. Okay, you do have got a thing called Christ. Is it the same thing? It's the same thing. All these are coming from one culture. A culture that he invented the slave trade, conquering other people's culture, conquering other people's land, the same culture. In the same culture, when you go into public institutions like schools, universities, you find the things that are originating from the same culture. Now the question is, what is really behind this? What lies behind all this? They gave you names, they gave you places, and we feel so good and feel comfortable using them. And we feel, no, it's good. What if these things are not good? Because they rule our minds, and we hardly question them because we are totally subsumed. So the Chief Rabbinate of Africa, particularly I'm referring to my master here, when he carried on the limud that speaks about the philosophers, you will find our world very disgusting. You will find that particularly the Bantu Israelites, we have gone too far. Yes, we admit, I personally admit that yes, to a certain extent, it did not start because we wanted it to start like that. No, it was because the things were imposed onto us. Now the question comes now, my dear friend, what all these names that the names of things, the words, the ideas, expressed exactly in that culture, in that language, what if there is something behind? What if there is something behind you? Remember, we have learned previously that everything that we observe on this level of existence, there is a counterpart of it, the spiritual side of it. So now, if you are saying, for example, I'm using it as an example. What if, when you say democracy, what if the spiritual side of that thing is something else? And you are embracing it now here, and you call it is a very good form of government. So my master my sincere apology once again. It's keep on disrupting us. Yeah, still disrupting us. Thank you very much. Going back, Ben Ishai taught in a Pasha Emor. What is coming from impurity is impure. That is the basic rule, according to Ben Ishai. Now, my question is, during Hanukkah, there is a passage that we recite when we light the candles of Hanukkah. And this is the declaration according to the sages. When it describes Greek, Yavan in Hebrew, Yavan, it's Yavan Harasha. What is Harasha? The Rasha is the wicked person, or is a wicked system, or it could be a wicked system. We know for sure that everything must have two sides to exist. Must have the front, must have the back. Must have the good part, and must have the bad part. Not according to my definition, or you should not render a definition to it, but the definition of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the definition of Torah. I was speaking to my master this afternoon, whether I understand exactly that is small passage of two words. And this is what I explained, and it confirms exactly how I understood it. He said, Yavan, who is called Harasha, Yavan has got also two sides. All the system, the Greek system has got two sides. The good side and the bad side. The bad side is the one that ruined everybody, that controls everybody. Is the side of the philosophers that conquered your land, that conquered your tradition, that conquered everything that defines your society. The Greek philosophers is documented, it's written. I have said it is in a Parashat Emor, according to Ben Shchai. Now, my dear good friend, oh, well, we have got the challenges today, like the other day. Okay, let's go to, we have exhausted that. Let's take our Humashim. We go to the book of Shemot, chapter 23, and Pasuk 13. At the end, we will see the levels, positions where we were downgraded and relegated because of foreign cultures. created by philosophers. The Torah described as foxes. Yeah. I read it to our hearing, Be'ezrat Hashem. ובכל אשר אמרתי עליכם תשמרו בשם אלוהים אחרים לא תזכרו, לא יישמע על פיך. It's rendered as follows. In fact, it's a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah doraita for some of us who are on a process for conversion. What is a doraita? All the 613 mitzvot are doraita. These are the mitzvot, the commandment directly from the Torah. And there is no negotiation, there is no bargaining. It's a must that you have to do. It's a must that I have to do. And to break one is just like breaking the rest of it. The rest of the 613 mitzvot. I give an example for the benefit of us who, excuse me, for the benefit of those who are in a conversion process. It's a deroita mitzvah that once you have eaten and you are satisfied, you must give a bracha, or you must bless. The Torah sages are saying, blessing it there where you have partaken the meal. That is a drabanan. I mean, sorry, not the drabanan, the roita. And there are commandments that are drabanan. The rabbis made some laws in order to protect you from violating or us violating the commandments. So now this, what we have read here, is a warning to us. What does it say? It wants us to be on our guard concerning. It says, what I have told you. This is Moshe speaking. Make no mention. Make no mention of names of other gods. They shall not be heard on your lips. Do you see why, for example, when we talk about, when we enter into conversation with the other people's religion, particularly in this case, the religion of Edom, we don't pronounce exactly the name, how those names were written. Because we know exactly the source and then we know exactly what they represent, what is behind. What about us, the Bandu Israelites? What about us? In a political circle, how many times do our politicians quoting the philosophers as a source of their wisdom? How many scholars outside there Scholars, people we look onto. I wanted to confirm what I'm saying with one of the scholars here. Scholars, you find them in their house of assemblies, whether the assembly to worship or the assembly of legislative or even a justice system. You find our respective scholars, they are in church. I'm sorry, I'm not putting any religion on a spot here. I'm saying they are in church, for example. And do you see them also praising and dancing there? But yet, they mention something, they mention things, they mention things. The names of other gods. Never think that democracy is not, it's an idea, but yes, do not think that it does not have a counterpart on the other side. It has got the other side. I have got scholars like Sadiq Zuko. I've got a scholar like Sadiq Kalomo here. Would it be fair if I ask us that, for example, you have got a land person in your respective countries, in the parliament, in all those places, and they said, no, let us start the name. In the name of Jesse. But this is the scholar that we look onto. Isn't that so, my dear good friends, on a platform?
It happens, Rabbi, every time in government and local government in the sphere of leadership, when they talk about leadership and making leaders for the future, they use that name all the time in that environment, regardless of what religion you come from or what you believe. It's true.
Thank you for confirming that, Sadiq. But here we do have got a text. Okay, assume that this is not only, it's not based on a scholar or a scholarship. We have got our friends, our brother and sister caught up in any system, whether religion or politics. Where do they not see this very passage all the time? How do they pass this passage? Yes, they know that there is a 10 commandments, but the 10 commandments are in the same chapter or in the same parashat called Yethro. How is it possible that they don't see this, but they know they know where the 10 commandment is, or commandments are? You shall not mention it, should not even come from your mouth. It should not come from. Now, but we were brought up to we were brought up in societies that we do not, we are no longer able to see and to differentiate between right and left. Why? Because the philosophers made us blind, and in our maturity age, we just simply accept. Philosophers, you better, not better, you rather quote, no, there was a man called Karl Marx. Okay, Karl Marx. Okay, with a due respect to his lineage of rabbis and so forth and so forth, we prefer to quote Socrates, Plato, of the same culture. We quote them in our assembly in order for me to be seen as doing something, as a knowledgeable person. I must be seen quoting those philosophers. Then I am. It's only when I am. Well, I have got a stand in a society. You cannot take anything that is from impurity is impure. There is no any other way according to the Torah sages. The Doraita here, it says, don't even mention it. Don't even come to mention it at all. So now I wanted to end our limud. Is there any question, my dear friend, before I get, as I said, we will not make it long, but yeah. Is there any question?
There is a text,
today
Rabbi.
I really like interaction. Today I really like interaction, my dear good friends. Yes.
No problem. There's a text that you touched on, actually a thought that you touched on, which Chazal said. I think you said that the little foxes or the foxes are the ones that stop us from having that connection, or to maintain only one name in our minds, and that's Hashem. And I found that in Shira Shirim 2 verse 15. I don't know if you want to read it for us, Rabbein. Shira Shirim 2 verse 15. Just to support what you said earlier.
Okay, you may read it out for us because I don't have my Tanakh close by.
Okay. So my Hebrew is not good at this stage, but I'll read it in English.
Okay.
It says here, catch us the foxes, the little foxes that ruin the vineyards, for our vineyard is in blossom. I think this is Hashem talking to Klal Israel, saying that all these other things that you've mentioned, Rabbi, these philosophies, these thoughts of other nations, thoughts of other schools, are the ones that ruin the good moment of love, communion, and communication with Hashem. We grow in relationship with Hashem, and then we let these other little foxes come in, and then the vineyard is ruined, and we reap consequences for having let that ruin this communication, for letting the foxes into the garden, as it were.
You just touched exactly what my master taught in last year in public. Yes, that is what we have been learning for many years. My dear good friend, we were reduced to the point that we are hardly questioning things. We look at those figures up there with due respect to what to their social standing. We look at other nations as a source of anything that means or meaning. Without them, it looks that we don't exist. And until they said, no, this is or that is, it's only when we said, oh yes, that is. Until they qualify something, yes. Without them, no. So that also comes to what my master has taught for many years, taught us in Jerusalem. The white man savior syndrome. That backside of Yavan is what we call good. And what is truly good is what we have run away from. Yeah. So ending our limud with the Pasha Vaigash. Pasha Vaigash. I've got a few, we are not going to exhaust to the end of the introduction of Ben Ish Chai. This is probably the last Pasha or Parashat of the book Bereshit, and it speaks about Parashat Vaigash, Shana Vishona, the first year. And it is described about the purpose of or not a purpose. It discussed briefly, but deep on a halachot, on Pesuke Tezimra. Do we understand what Pesuke Zimra is?
Morning blessings.
Rabbi Tzaddik Zuko. Do you have got an idea?
I think it's morning blessings, the way that we approach God after a night of sleep and bless Him for the privileges of being alive, having a new day, etc., etc.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. For some of us in our conversion, some of these questions will come when you appear before the Beit Din. Pesukei de Zimira, it starts with Asher Yoshua Veitecha. Eteilim 145. And we know what introduces that. We know exactly, once you are in a Pesukei de Zimira, we know exactly the world you are in. It consists of how many, it's only done on during Sakrit prayers. Only Sakrit prayers. It doesn't matter whether it's on Shabbat, it's on, it's always in the morning. Okay, not bothering you, just to give you what it is. So, Ben Ish Chai introduces us to one pasuk, as is always the case with our rabbis, with the sages. The Chazal, they took a passage of the Torah and they discussed it. It's what he said. Vayomer Elokim leIsrael. Okay. Bemaroti halayla. Vayomer Yaakov. Vayomer hineni. This is the passage that was taken from Bereshit chapter 46 and verse 2, or pasuk 2. What it says, and Elohim spoke to Israel. in a vision, but here Bemerot it's like a mirror. Okay, it's a vision. The night, meaning at the night, not during the day, but at night. It's something that we should have mentioned, but Ben Ishai is going to what lies behind the symbolic Laila. What is Laila? Is it just Laila like in many places wherever you are? Maybe some of us are this time is during the day, but some no, it's the beginning of the night. Is it what is being referred to? Or this is also the metaphor, allegory. And he said, Yaakov, Yaakov. And he said, and he replied, yeah, I am. Hineni, but it means I'm ready. Yesh leakshot. Ben Ishai says, we have got the troubles here. We have got the difficulties here now. What is the trouble sensed by a chacham like Ben Ishai? Me'achar sheizikoro b'shem Israel. Lama lo karo ata b'shem Israel ela karo b'shem Yaakov. Ben Ishai started telling us the challenge he has, some troubles, some difficulties that he faces. But now he is asking the question, since as it is mentioned, okay, or it's mentioned, or they mentioned, the same Israel, they mentioned Israel. Why all of a sudden now you are talking about Beshem Israel rather than Yaakov? Why? Gam also, Lama Kapolo Shemo. Why a double? Why that name was called double? Yaakov. What is the significance of using a double calling? Double name, the name. Why is it not only? Why is it not enough to say Yaakov? Or if you call Rabbi Elnatan, why do you have to call me twice? Rabbi Elnatan. Why don't you just call me one? Remember, we also saw the case of Shmuel. The same thing happened. Why? Why is it so important? Venerari Bishiyata Dishmaya, with Hashem's help, it appears to me, or it seems to me, with Hashem's help, the Miporashi Pakatuvu Shayu, Devarim Elu, Elav Bemarot Halayla. Here, Ben Ishai is telling us that it was explained. As it was written, I mean, it is written, it is explained, or the scripture explained. Shiayu devarim elu ela bamarot. The idea is it was explained, all these things were explained. Why these things appeared to him at night? Ve'adua. And you must know, you and I must know. Halaylahu bechinati shem pan. that the word halayla, is an aspect of ban. What is ban? We remember the word, the name Havaya of 4 letters. When you expand those 2 letters at the 4th level that corresponds to the world of Asiya, to the level called Nefesh, when you make the Milui, meaning expanding each of this letter, of each every letter of that level, the gematria value of that extension comes to 52. And this is from the Torah, of Sod is referred to as pan. Now we have to understand, what is pan is doing in the world of, in the Pasha. By gosh, Vehu Sot Bat Shabbat. Now we have got a problem again. Ben Ishchai is that this is the secret of Bat Sheva. What is Bat? Bat is a daughter in Hebrew. Sheva is 7. But what does that mean? Well, I don't understand. We go on. Ushtei Pa'amim Yaakov Ole Shin Samech Dalet. Smart. He says, if you multiply the word Yaakov times 2, it will give you 364. Does it ring a bell, my dear good friend? Yes, it should ring a bell. Yes, please, yes.
I was going to say, those are the divisions of the days of the year according to the Tanakh, those original seasons that HaKodesh Baruch Hu gave us.
Baruch Hashem Itbarach. Baruch Hashem Itbarach. This is one of the reasons from the Chief Rabbinate of Africa point of view. We are saying, don't read the Torah as a textbook. Couple of months ago, to the Southern Africa, I went to one kingdom. And I was met by some, good people. And they were mistaken me with the Messianic age group. They were mistaken. But in a process of discussion, they wanted to tell me what the Torah says. I asked them, do you read Hebrew? No. So what do you mean? How do you know that what you read is what it says? If you don't read Hebrew, how do you know that this is what it says? No, silence broke up. Silence. Do not read the Torah as a textbook. Okay. This is one of the reasons why we are saying maybe I should reserve that for a while. Okay. 364. When you multiply twice the name Yaakov. We know the name Yaakov is 182. The name Yaakov, without a vav, is 182. We will give this another secret of particularly when you look at chapter 2 of Bereshit, chapter 2, only probably three verses there. The name Yaakov is also hidden there. But I have to check up what I'm saying. It's for a long time I haven't gone there. Okay, we go. Keminian Sheva Pa'amim Ban. Yes. Ban. Okay, let's go and read the whole thing. ולכן, כיוון שאמר לו במערות הלילה, שהוא בחינת שם בן, 7 פעמים ban. If you multiply the word ban 7 times, it will give you exactly the corresponding number, 364. My master carried on a limud, something that he has been taught us, about 365. 365. And if you read the Torah, they are saying in the translation, they are saying, you know, the image of God. No, not according to the Torah. People say, no, I was created in the image of God. Okay, what? Okay, explain it to me. What is the image of God? You mean God has got all this? What I'm seeing? Only something else. Okay, that aside. ולכן כיוון שאמר לו במעלתי הלילה. ולכן, therefore, the idea is we have to concentrate what it says to him. במערות הלילה. The vision of the night. שהוא בחינת שם בן. This is the aspect of the ban. לכך ויאמר יעקב. So it says, ויאמר, and he says, Yaakov. What is the significance of this double? שהוא מספר 7 פעמים בן. Okay. We hear, שהוא מספר 7 פעמים בן. As we have just explained before. If you just multiply, the ban is a ban 52 times 7, it will give you that number, 600. I mean, not 600, 364. Besod bat sheva. This is the secret of bat sheva. What does that really mean? I don't know. We wait Ben Shai to help us to understand that, because I wanted to lead us to a point where we discover where we have been reduced by the philosophers and the way they have taken us from. Particularly, I'm talking about Bandu Israelites. You know, when you look at some people, regardless of either is in a religion, including the rabbis, no exception. Once they are introduced to the sense and the sweetness of power, they behave otherwise. Yeah, they behave otherwise. Now, to take them or to take one from there who has been enjoying the power, to relegate him or to relegate, to relegate him to a different level, there is always a fight. If it is like that, with, of course, okay, there are so many halachot that no, you don't bring somebody to that level. No. But let's look at the scenarios. When we look at, for example, also in leadership, different type of leadership created by the philosophers. Many people do not want to relinquish power because all out of fear. What is this fear? What is this fear? No, people happen to know me that, oh, he was a great man. He was at the pinnacle of that system. Now he is here. Now I'm bringing drawing this picture in order to relate it to the condition and the situations where Bantu Israelites were reduced from, or were reduced to, and they were taken from. And they are not prepared. I'm not saying all of them, but they are not prepared to take the bulls on its own and they face reality and said, no, this is not truly my condition. This is not really my root. This is not truly my identity. They are afraid. They think that, the amenities of life, the devices of the foxes, which the Tanaim, not the Tanaim, the sages, the Chazal says, they are donkeys. When they have created all these things, these are the things that we are taking pleasure on, all in, and we call them good. Yes, it's good for them, those foxes. It's good for them, but is it good for you? We are even chasing money. We are chasing all sorts of honor. The honor that they have created only for you. We are busy. We spend even so much how they designed the so-called education. They designed that you Bantu Israelites or anybody else should spend so much time, so many years in a thing called the university, which they have designed or designed through, out of their mind. What is the purpose? Is it to serve them, not to discover yourself? You chase money, I chase money. Okay, not me. We chase money. We were made only to chase it for money. Everywhere, money, money. Is it truly money or is it something else? If there is nothing pure that is from impurity. Everything that is all that is from impurity is impure, according to the standard in the Chazal, Ben Ishchai. The money that we are after for. My master said, that is not even money. And we see it on social media everywhere. There are People who are not even Jews are saying, man, these are all fake money. Now, if it is fake money, can you tell us what is money, the real money? No, the Chazal even tell us what the real money is. Okay. We go on according to Ben Ish Chai. All Yovan Besiata Dishmaya, Kalo Yaakov Yaakov, Ki Bechol Shem Yesh, Misipal Beni Shiluvim. Okay, let me read the whole thing. Havaya, Adanut, Havaya, Misipal Kol, Ole Shem. Ben Ish Chai is giving us a picture here about the steps how to combine the name Havaya, Adanut, and the Havaya. And they went to say, all this, after you have followed this step, will it come to 364. How? Kedei lishmol oto be'arba shiluvim elu beshem Yaakov. This is fascinating. In order to keep Oto, to keep it, the Arba Shumim, in all 4 steps, Elu Beshem Yaakov, Mini Hasatan, Sheu Misipar. My dear friends, what Ben Ish Chai is telling us is drawing us. Let me just finish the whole thing. And I give, because word by word is also, I may start by finding a proper word in English. Min Hasatan, Sheu Misipal, she said, Ki derech Hasatan, Lekatireg, Bishiati Sakana, Betiati Hadam, La Derech Viparat, Beridato Lemitraim. I wanted to end there. What the Ben Ish Chai is telling us, he gives us an idea that why the name Yaakov was mentioned twice. Is it because it's also to protect him? But what does it have to do with going down to Mitzrayim? And what does it have to do with Yaakov at all by mentioning 2 names? No, it's because the name Hasatan has got the same gematria value. The name Hasatan has got the same gematria value, 364. And it says whenever a man is on the journey, this is the way of Hasatan to control. Meaning, Ben Ish Chai is telling us that Hasatan has got the power over that number. What is that number? 6. I don't know why I keep on saying 6. 364. 664. So when It's a way of Hasatan giving us the picture that man must not fail when he is traveling, when he is walking on the road, wherever, regardless of how short that traveling is from one city to another city, one must not fail to recite Tefillah HaDerech. This is the idea behind. Why? Because Satan was given the power over this 364. He is meaning he is controlling he is controlling also part of the time. So before I conclude, because it's a very, very deep concept, where do we see the Bantu Israelite in that very small portion of the introduction of Ben Ish Chai? Where do we see Bantu Israelite picture in the whole thing? Is there any answer or any comment, any reaction to that regard, to that aspect? Let's feel free. Okay. Okay. Do you remember? Don't be at the head of foxes. You know, my master taught us. My master taught us how this is my own word, but it's going the same direction what the master has taught us. How do you create chaos? Chaos. We see there are so many chaos in a community, in a very small scale community. Could be a village, this could be a city, this could be a country, this could be a continent. We see, for example, in Africa, we see what was happening in Kenya, and we see what is happening in Mozambique. We see it's happening everywhere. Where are all these things are rooted from? What could be the interpretation of this chaos? There are many people, not many people, there are some people we don't see every day. There are people that we don't see every day, but they are controlling your daily life. They are controlling in my daily life. Chas v'shalom, not me, but there are part of the things of me that they control. How did they acquire this power to control? No, they have got. Sorry, pardon me. Yes, it's Tzaddik Kalomo. Yes, please.
Yes, Rabbi. I want to comment to say creating confusion is brought about by taking away the knowledge, taking away the understanding on which we as Africans are rooted to, and instead than introducing something new that we really do not understand how it functions. So in all that we do is we attempt to see and interpret what is given to us to see if we can make it work. Now, coming to the 364 days, which is the year or the lunar year, we really have no basis of, managing the time as we had probably in earlier.
Sadiq Kalomo.
Sorry, I was interrupted. There was an interruption that came in. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes. Yes, that's right. I think you. Yeah. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I can't clearly hear you, but I can hear briefly. If we
Okay, hear me now, but
can
I
no
can hear
longer
you.
control the
Can you
time,
please go on.
yes. If we can no longer control the time, the
Yes.
times or the periods as we had in the earlier times, then obviously we are subjected to something else that we do not understand. We are merely living it, but we do not understand what is behind what has been given to us. Hence the confusion. I end there, Rabbi.
Thank you very much. That is the thing. That is also is Hanukkah, the calendar. My master keep on saying for many years. The calendar that we have is not really, it's not a calendar. It's a calendar for others, but it's not a calendar for us. And exactly what the Sadiq Kalome said. When you do not have this thing, if you don't have control over your own calendar, that means somebody is controlling your time. And it's where the Bantu Israelites have fallen from. They are no longer themselves. Somebody else is controlling them. We too, we are controlled. There are many aspects we are controlled because you cannot say, for example, no, I wanted to do this on Yom Rishon. I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that in Yom Rishon. But you are told, like, for example, today, what do they tell you? New Year, right? Everything comes to stand still. Only certain services here and there. That means it indirectly, not indirectly, you are confined to something that is not truly something that you don't have control over it. Again, coming back to my initial question, what makes people to be not to be rebellious? How do you create chaos? My master taught us, you make people to violate the not six, I don't know why today. You make people to violate the 365 prohibitions of the Torah. Once you make people to do that, then you will create chaos. Why? Because there is a corresponding reaction to that violation. And because there will be a corresponding reaction to that violation, it creates something. And what is that something that will be that would be a result of that violation. This is the result. We don't have our lands anymore. We don't have ownership of our lands anymore. And then nothing seems to work. Not it seems, nothing is working, like what Sadiq Kalome said. We have been given tools that were not designed for our own benefit. Whether we wanted to hear it or admit it or not, it's a fact. We were given things that do not work for us, but against us, against ourselves. Yeah, against us. Nothing is really working. Now the world, the very same world that is behind the tools that we are using, they have given it to us. At the same world that condemns us and said, no, look at them, they are barbaric. Look at them, they are corrupt. Look at them, they are promiscuous. They are the very same one to hang you. The very same one. They extend loans to you. They know that, well, they extended nothing. Only the imagination of our heart, and we are thinking, no, now we are brought into the situation and think, no, we have got something. You find that the guy is taking a political office, and after having promised so many things, at the end of the term, there is nothing to show that, well, I have done that. Why? Because the form of government and anything that comes along, definition, all these things is a creation of others. You didn't create anything. I wish our political figures, those at the decision making in the continent of Africa, regardless of whether you are banned or you are not banned, regardless, I wish they could follow, they could go into the website of the Chief Rabbinate of Africa. But our own ones are the very ones to point the fingers. No, they don't fit to speak those things. They don't fit. But the very same one they said, no, they are fit to say those things, are the very same one who says, oh boy, you are not even a boy. You are our creation. How dare you? That's why they don't say anything. It's better for them to side with them and be insensitive to their own ones. Look at how they paraded themselves. Everywhere they paraded themselves. With due respect to them, my dear good friend, you go nowhere. You are stuck in there, and that is exactly they meant you to be for the rest of your life. You can go and come back to this level of existence if you come back, and if you come back as a human. You go and come back. You will not change. You will not change. Yeah, that is the position. Yes. Some time ago, I mentioned it to one politician, and I said, there is only one thing. Understand the society, what it is and what is not. I was referring to that. One of the institutions that are easy to manage is any institution called government. But I don't think that I was understood. No, and I know, I read the faces, and I know that I was not understood. I wasn't. Once you work with other people's tools to think that you will manage, forget about it. Forget about it, my friend. But the most important one is time. So they have reduced you to what Ben Shai is telling us here. There is where they have reduced us. Yes. From the pinnacle, from that pinnacle of being, yeah, being Bnei Israel. Last is that Ben Ishai and I think it's Vaishlach or Vashev, somewhere there. I just forgot exactly in which Pasha. Ben Ishai is talking about Ben Aliyah. Ben Aliyah, when Ben Aliyah, it means Ben Aliyah is those who are truly at a certain level of intellect, Torah, wisdom. Ben Ishai says they are very few. What is the opposite of this? If Torah Chachamim are few in the world, that means the opposite of Bnei Aliyah, they are the majority. And if they are the majority, how did they become the majority? The only solution that we have here of solutions, they must have been created. Then who created them? In the way where they created. They must have been created in a laboratory. And where is this laboratory? Public schools. Yeah, public schools. Societies. They created you and I so that we become many. We are just the opposite of Bnei Aliyah. Okay, not not really we, but the majority of those who are listening to us. In this case, Bnei Israel, you were made the opposite of Bnei Aliyah, but Bnei Aliyah was your station. Should have been your station. My dear good friends, once again, I wanted to thank each one of us for having participated in our limud, for comment. Someone said it's not a question, but to me it was both, because from a wise person, a question could also be a statement. And to our viewers outside there, the different platforms, thank you very much for your audience. Thank you very much for your time. And we could not finish the entire introduction of Ben Shchai on a Pasha by Gash. Like my master always say, if you don't get it this time, may Hashem help us that we will understand next time. Does not mean that when the cycle of Vaigash returns, the rabbis would visit even the Pasha that he passed by may not be the purpose, but just to refresh our minds as to what we have learned in previous Pashiot. So, if there is no question, I then would enter my limud. Is there any question or a comment or concluding a comment? Okay, I do not see any hands there. My dear good friend, yes, please. I have got Mr. Sadiq Emmanuel Titus. Yes, please.
Hi, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom,
Chazak Baruch.
Rabbeinu.
Chazak Baruch for the shiur, by the way. And
Amen, amen.
I have a question. Actually, we often learn that the goal of the Yevanim, one of the goals of the Yevanim was to avoid the kids to learn Torah. And you just said that where the enemies create their troop, actually, like their group is at school.
Yes.
So it's literally the same thing. It's like the goal from the beginning was the school, because the school is the first instance where you raise your child, actually, more or less. You can say it this way.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Sadiq Emmanuel. The point is, don't underrate the education system that our political institutions like the government have adopted. It's not only your child that is affected by the education system. The education system, they give it to, the education, they give it to all whatever they teach. It is schools, is extended, is also meant to extend to your children, to their parents. So in other words, whatever is dissuade, whatever and the mindset, whatever mindset they inculcate or instill in the child, certainly it will be extended to their parents. Yes, the point of Yavan, that betty side of Yavan, the idea is to corrupt the mind of not only kids, but also their parents. Be careful. That's why the Torah says, the Torah wants Bnei Israel. Do not employ, do not take, do not do the all take the customs of other nations. But what did they do to us? My friend, if you go into the continent of Africa, you may be perhaps in America. Everywhere we are, we have got that mindset that the schools, the better schools, are those of white people, for example. I'm saying white people not in the context of hating them. It's not the point. But the point is directed to our mindset that they gave it to us. unless I take my child to the white school, unless I take my child to America, unless I take my child to Europe, then it's only when my child is educated. Go into many African countries, for example. Tell me, is there any president, is there any scholar who could say, no, I was educated in my own tradition of my own people, of my culture, and be recognized as such? My friend, no one. If you have got someone, please, my sincere apology. Maybe that is a wild statement. Tell me one, just one. He may not have gone to America, or he may not have been sent to Europe, but just in the continent, in the culture, in the tradition of his own people. I just want one. I just need one. My dear friend, my master has got one word. We lost the battle. Where did we lose that battle? And how did we lose it? Yes, my master had answered those questions. Answered those questions from the day we turn our back on the Torah of Aleph. That was the end. We have got the Torah of Bet. Yeah. And everything that was used against you, against me, against our ancestors. The Torah of Bet became this the point of reference is justification. It's a really tragedy. Thank you very much, Sadiq Emmanuel, for that very, very comment. And it ties, or it is also connected to what other Sadiqim have mentioned. Time. Yavan wanted to destroy the Torah. We were given tools so that we cannot even define it, but because you define them, you are in conflict with them, the owner of those tools. The point is not to hate anybody. The point is know who you are. Know who you are.
If I may go back a little bit, Rabbeinu, you asked a question,
please. Yes,
and you said, what is the meaning of Bat-Sheva? So,
yes,
having gone through the hints we get in the Parshat and from other sources, can we say, or is it that Bat-Sheva means Seder, which means an order that we should live by? A question.
Yes, we can say that. Yes, we can say that. Why would Ben Ish Chai use the word Bat-Sheva? Bat-Sheva. Literally translation, it would mean seven. What is Bat-Sheva?
Seven daughters, or
yeah, but because when you said 7 daughters, then it would have said no, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit Bat-Sheva. But okay, let's put it this way about the order. Your point. How do we define order is order? What is order is order. It's not a question directed to somebody or to a specific person. It's a question to each one of us. What is order is order. You know, very good. Thank you. You know, there is a wisdom among our own people. One of the sages happened to be an older man or an elder man. He's a movie actor. He said once upon a time, I don't know which country where he come from. He said, let me tell you things that you do not know. He's telling somebody. People are not interested in moral and ethics, but to make money. Once they have made money, they are now settled. And it's when they define moral and ethics their way. So, are we not living in societies, in cultures defined by others? We do. So, in other words, our societies are too far from the order that Akadosh Baruch Hu set in his Torah. The philosophers have taken us from the order that we should have been into their own order that they have created. So now they are the ones who are designing the moral and ethics according to their way. Those at the Southern Africa, probably in a different WhatsApp group, I've been saying all this. Decolonize the thing called the constitutions. Because all this, like anything else in society, this is the mind of the philosophers, not wisdom. Philosophers have managed to overthrow wisdom. 4 years ago, I have said, I carried something on one of my remotes. I said, you are praising, for example, the Greek culture. You are praising them. We are praising them. But the man who was at the pinnacle of that culture, called Alexander the Great, took a very risk to come to the continent of Africa for what? For wisdom. So that means, by implication, there wasn't a wise person in the entire thing, whether it's empire or kingdom. There wasn't. But in this generation and a few generations after, we came to embrace the same culture, all the personalities from the same culture. What are we saying? That the person is coming to look for wisdom here, to your own ancestors. But the descendants are going back and not going back, they are going and say, no, wisdom is there. We underrate the wisdom of our own ancestors. We underrate the wisdom of the Torah. Yes, I understand with the passing of time, many of us, we did not know what the Torah was. We did not know. But in this generation, we ought to know. Thank you very much, Rabbeinu. Thank you very, very, very much, Sadiq Zuko, for that observation.
No problem. Thank you for the response.
Well, I
If I can-
guess we, yes,
If I can I ask a last question? Actually,
yes,
this in
yes.
mind.
No, Sadiq Emmanuel, don't say the last question.
Okay, so a question.
Yes,
Actually, I had this in mind. Actually, we can write the Sefer Torah in Greek, right?
the sages have said, the Chazal says, from the day the Torah was translated, there was a balagan, there was a cry.
Yeah, this is my point. It's like I don't understand how it's possible that we say nowadays that the only other kosher language for a Sefer Torah is Greek.
Yeah, there was oh, sorry, okay, let me not cut you, but yes, please continue.
No. I was just about to say that it's terrible. Actually, it makes no sense. Say such a
Yes.
thing.
Rabbeinu, you have touched a very, very another serious point, because Ben Shai in Pasha Noach, he described about the otiot of the Hebrew letters, not the one that you see everywhere, whether it's in everywhere, not those ones. Kitav Ivrit, the chief rabbinate of Africa, probably after thousands of years, even within the Jewish world, people do not know this Kitav Ivrit. The real ones, the original ones. We are the first. It's only the chief rabbinate of Africa decided to revive that, because we understood that this is what is meant by the sages of Torah, that about to kitab, not about, to mean Kitav Ivrit. These are the very letters. So Ben Ishchai, in Parashat Noah, he said there is, or there are other letters. Which are these other letters? So the really Hebrew letters are the only one who are the conduit, the pipe to bring, for example, the Shefa here to this world. But if you don't use them, then you are using the other otiot that have got nothing, and is not connected to where the real Hebrew alphabet or letters are connected to. And you cannot use them. You can use them otherwise, but you cannot use them to mean that, well, they are connected where the Shefa should be released from. You cannot use them. So it is a tragedy. It's a tragedy that the Torah was reduced to languages that have got no connection to that world where the Shefa is. That's why it was a tragedy. The Chazal said, oh, what a tragedy. Yes, Sadiq Emmanuel, you are right. There are some who are defending and said, no, it was a commandment that we should write it in Greek. Really? But wait a second, if it was a Greek, what would be your explanation when Ben Ishchai says, or not Ben Ishchai, when today, during the 80 days of Hanukkah, the passage we are in, that are inserted, or that is inserted in Amidah, or in Birkat Hamazon after eating bread, that is said, Yavan Harasha. My master confirmed it to me this afternoon and said, there are two sides of Yavan, like anything else. This side and the other side. Now we see that Yavan is the sages. Ben Ishai said, the sages of Yavan are the foxes. Now, if you are saying the Torah should be translated in Greek, from what side of this Greek the Torah should be translated to? Which side? Is it this side or the other side? The one that is called good or the one that is called Harasha? Which one? My dear good friend, it's a tragedy from the Chief Rabbinate of Africa. We are saying many nations are being fed from the other letters. That is where they drive their sustenance. Just as we have seen in one of the Pashiot, according to Ben Ishai, if you do have got these four levels called Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and the Neshama of Neshama, and that you are not connecting them to the four letters of Havaya, it's really unfortunate. And they have made sure through the institutions of public institution, private institution, in any society, they made sure that you do not connect all these four levels to Havaya, but to the letters they control.
Big
To
problem.
the letters they, pardon me?
I just said big problem.
Indeed is so. So do not be proud of whatever achievement you think you have achieved. And they think that, well, everything is okay. No, you are feeding from the other side. Probably where you were not meant to. This is one of the reasons why the Chief Rabbinate of Africa, my master told us, we must not accept. Yes, we must not accept money coming from whatever angle it comes from. We have to know how was it end, and from where it is end. From where, from what angle? Why? Because we know this type of secret of the Torah, that there are some otiot, and these otiot are being used by the sharim of nations. You remember the sharim, best of Hashem, we will come, or I will come on this areas of program for us to study the the book of Rabbi Ishmael. He was one of the Tanaim. One of the Tanaim, Rabbi Ishmael. He discusses about these rulers of nations, not rulers in terms of physicality, not the one, he's not referring to the one that you see. No, those who are on top of all the nations, 70 nations. Yeah. Yeah, Bezot Hashem. Yeah, once again, thank you very much. If there is no any other question, please, we will, yeah, not please, but yeah, if there's no any other question, then we end our limudu for today. And Bezot Hashem, we will continue next week. But I suggest that if we wanted, if we want the limud twice a week, please drop in your suggestion. We have taken note of other suggestions that came in, but please drop in your suggestions. It would also be good for us, so that I take it up with my master and the other rabbis programs in the course of the week. We have to keep on the ball rolling, you know. We have got so much to learn in order to dispel the stigmas and all the other prejudices and all these veils that they have given it to us. And we embrace them through time. We embrace them as normal, and that's good. Yeah, Bezot Hashem. Once again, thank you very, very much. I wanted to appreciate, or to extend my appreciation to my master, Chief Rabbi Pinchas Eliyahu Shaddai, for having given us the link and they created the platform. And I wanted to thank the viewers at the different platform for your audiences. I wanted to also to extend my thanks to our participant in on the screen that I see on the screen now. I've got Tzaddik Kalomo, Tzaddik Zugot, Tzaddik Emmanuel Titus. I know that you have made a very extensive research on Emmanuel and also Titus, particularly Titus.
Everybody told me that, so.
No. Well, I didn't say it. What is it called? To patronize, you know, it's not to the purpose. I say no. Yeah, I know. My master said it to me one day. He said to me, but your surname Namadi. But why do we have got your countries also starts with the same thing, Nam, and we have got Vietnam? What is this code? And I said, oh, my master, I do not know. But with the time, I came to know what is behind the whole thing. I want also to acknowledge the presence of Madame Natalia Evangeline. Thank you very much for being with us. So I hope to see you, Be'ezrat Hashem, next week. I wanted to wish you all and your family and your extended family and students Rosh Chodesh Tov, Chanukah Sameach, and Shabbat Shalom Umevorach.
Chanukah
Shabbat
Sameach.
Shalom. Chodesh Tov.
Chodesh Tov, Tzadikim. Bye-bye.